Hi everyone, Rory Neary from Data Spinners here, continuing with the Gartner BI Magic Quadrant project. So what we're going to do in this session is actually submit the form, which to be honest is pretty straightforward. So moving back onto the app, we left it last time round where we were in a position where we could actually change the image based on what we were looking at. So what I need to do now is make sure this form actually submits. So if I go on to the list itself in SharePoint, which is here, and I go on to Gartner, what we'll see is that there are no items at all. Okay, so what we're going to do is go on to the app itself, and we are going to submit our first item. Now, if I go onto the screen here, okay, well, fine, it's ready for a new item, but yeah, I'm just going to do that. So I am just going to, now what we haven't done on the submit button is it doesn't actually do anything. So if you look at the button itself and you do the on select, nothing happens, false, nothing. So what we're going to do is submit form, and it's FRM Gartner, and I think that's just about it. So what we're going to do is we are going to go and we're going to do well, actually I want to start with 2014. It's going to confuse me otherwise. So we go to 2014 and we put in wherever Microsoft is at that point. So I'm thinking vision is something like, let's say it's 1.3. I'm going to hit the play button, it's a bit easier that way. 1.3, provider is Microsoft, and the execution is at sort of 1.35, something like that. It's not perfect, maybe 1.4, let's go 1.4, it's not that, 1.35, let's go with that. And if we hit submit on that, off it goes. And if we hit new item, it'll oh, do you know what? This is an interesting one because this hasn't cleared it, but I kind of like that in this case because if I was doing one provider over and over again, then you'd be able to just make the changes of it. So I'm going to crack on with this. This is good. So if we look on the list itself, look at that. It's one of those lists where you've got to get access to it, even though it's your list. So I will just make sure that works. So yes, we've seen the information has gone in there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to crack through, because the idea with this is that I kind of go, oh, well, that was interesting, 2014. What was 2015 like? Well, 2015, then they were at a vision of kind of 1.1, and their ability to execute is looks like 1.2. Now, I had the feeling that going back the way they may have changed what they were actually looking at and so on. So, but anyway, we'll crack through it because it's an exercise as much as anything else. So I've hit the submit button on this. Then no item to display. Wonderful. That's because it's gone in. And if we actually look at the this list here, then it's updated. To be honest, it's updated automatically, which is a bit of a surprise to me, to be honest. But it does link up quite well with SharePoint. So we're going to look at 2016. So on 2016, it's looking like a completeness of vision is looking like 1.6. And the execution is looking like 1.1, say. I'm going to submit that. Give it a new item, 2017. There is a small part of me that's wondering whether or not these are actually the same things, but it's all good fun. So then the completeness of vision moves to something like 1.7, say, and then the execution moves to it's kind of 1.45, and then I'll submit that, and then I'm going to go new item and 2018, my final one, where they're at sort of 1.7 on the vision and still 1.45. It's not much of a change really. So I'm going to hit the submit button on that. So what we've got is we have got a full list of items for Microsoft. Wonderful. And I'm just going to leave that at that. That was the idea with this. I'm sitting there with my iPad and I'm just going to fill this in. So in the next, please subscribe, all those sorts of things. In the next session, we are going to connect this up to Power BI so that we can actually visualize it nicely. So watch this space.